Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to take a much deeper look at the Wonga Fitness Method. We're not just doing a gym tour here. Nope, we are going to get into the science, the structure, and, that all-important community that really seems to define their whole approach. All right, let's get into it. So let's just start with the big one, the question that's at the heart of everything. What does it really mean to be fit? I mean, we throw that term around all the time, but what is it really? The definition can feel kind of fuzzy, right?
Well, in the Wonga world, true fitness isn't about what you see on social media. It's not about snapping the perfect gym selfie or doing some kind of flashy exercise that looks cool but doesn't actually do much. It's about building something way more real, way more substantial. And this is where their whole method begins, with a core principle. They define fitness through a totally science-backed lens. They actually break it down into a super comprehensive model that covers, well, pretty much every aspect of what our bodies are capable of.
Okay, so here's how they split it up. It's basically two big buckets. On one side, you've got the health-related components. Think of this as the absolute foundation of your well-being. And then on the other side, you've got skill-related components, which is what you build on top of that foundation. Let's take a look at each one. First things first, the health components. These are basically the 5 pillars of your physical health. We're talking about how well your heart and lungs work, your ratio of muscle to fat, your range of motion, how strong you are, and how long you can keep going. This is the bedrock of a healthy body. Now, once that foundation is solid, you start building on it with these 6 skill components. This is where fitness gets really dynamic. It's about changing direction on a dime, staying stable, making your body parts work together smoothly, generating force fast, reacting to things, and, of course, pure speed. This is what takes you from just healthy to truly athletic. Okay, so if that's the why and the what of fitness, the big question is, how do you actually train all those different things? Well, that brings us to the how, the actual fitness toolkit that Wonga gives you to work with. And get this, to cover that entire spectrum, they offer 11 different types of classes. That variety is there for a reason. It makes sure you have exactly the right tool to work on every single one of those components we just talked about. So, for instance, you've got classes like Reformer Pilates and different kinds of yoga. These are laser-focused on hitting components like flexibility, balance, and that deep core muscular endurance. It's all about building that foundational control. Then you've got the real powerhouses, strength training and high-intensity fitness classes. These are designed, plain and simple, to build your muscular strength, improve body composition, and crank up that all-important cardio endurance. And this is where it gets really fun. For developing all those skill-related components, you've got specialized classes like boxing and Muay Thai. These are just incredible for jacking up your power, your speed, your coordination, and your reaction time. This is where all the pieces really start to come together. But look, you can do all the work in the world in the studio, but if you're not feeling your body right, you're just spinning your wheels. And that brings us to the second massive pillar of their method, a really structured approach to nutrition, because you just can't out-train a bad diet. And what's cool is the path is so clear. Their nutrition coaching is broken down into 3 levels. You start with the starter, which is all about building habits that actually stick. Then you can move on to the developer, where you focus on changing your body composition. And finally, the refiner, which is all about maintaining those amazing results and really optimizing your performance. It's a journey, not some quick fix. So we've covered the science and we've covered the fuel, but there's an element, a secret ingredient, really, that you see people talking about over and over and over again in their testimonials, and that's the community. This is so important because it tackles one of the biggest reasons people quit, or never even start: gym intimidation. Just listen to this from a member named Narelle. I used to feel anxious about going to gyms. Now, I'm not just at ease. I'm excited to head to Wonga Fitness every day on my own. I mean, wow, that's a huge shift. And that feeling doesn't just happen by accident. Heather describes the place as a welcoming, non-daunting arena. That shows you how the space is intentionally designed to make you feel confident, especially if you're someone who feels totally lost in a huge impersonal gym. So what happens when you feel welcome and not intimidated? You show up again and again. And that is the #1 most important factor in getting results: consistency. Just like Olivia says, this is the most consistent I have ever been. That community isn't just a nice little bonus, it's the engine that drives results.
And honestly, Glenn just hits the nail on the head here. He says it feels like a second home. Think about that. When your gym feels like a second home, showing up isn't a chore anymore. It's just a part of your life. All right, so after breaking down the science, the tools, the fuel, and that incredible community, the only real question left is, well, how do you even begin? And they've designed the process to be super straightforward. The good news is there are a bunch of different ways to dip your toe in the water depending on what you're comfortable with. You can try a trial membership or even just book a single class. Or hey, if you want more guidance right from the start, you can jump into personal training or book a nutrition consult directly. There's no single high-pressure way to do it. So really, this whole deep dive boils down to one simple question. And it's not just about joining a gym, it's about building a practice. Are you ready to build a fitness practice that's actually supported by real science, proper fuel, and an amazing community?